Hey there, this is Unmesh, and today I have an extremely bad news, especially for landscape photographers. What happened was, just a couple of weeks ago, I saw this ad of this software in a magazine. Which magazine I cannot tell you here. So when I visited their website, it got me interested. I visited their website and I saw the trailer of the software. Of course, it's not free. I saw the trailer of the software, and it just gave me goosebumps. The way it transforms a landscape photograph and the way it can make any plain landscape photograph into a dramatic one is just amazing. If you don't have skies, don't worry, it just adds the sky, it just adds the cloud. If your water doesn't sound good, doesn't look good, it will add that sparkle into the water. If your buildings are not shining off the picture, it will add that. Everything you need without any further ado and without any structuring words. Let's look at what the software really is. In this video, first we would go through what the software claims, we would visit their website, and we would go through the trailer, and then I have downloaded the software for you to see how it applies, and then I'll conclude about whether this software is for you or not. Okay, so let's visit their website. I've already opened it, so just let's reload it so that you already know how the trailer starts, because it's running from I don't know when. So this is the Landscape Pro. So you can see how it has changed the landscape. So this is the normal one, and this is the advanced this is the after picture. So as you can see, it can add skies. Now relighting, this is one of the great features that I came across is, and you can move the source of the light, and accordingly the shadows and the lights and the highlights will be created in your images. Now there are a lot of bundled presets that will change your image drastically. So some of it sounds, some of it looks fake, but then again they are great, they are awesome. And again, there's another feature where you can change separate parts of your landscape photos. Suppose you want to change the water, suppose you want to change the mountains, suppose you want to change the skies. So everything is labeled and selected, and there are a lot of things that you can do. Now this software, as you can see from the images, shows brilliant, extremely brilliant results. But is it true in reality? Now let's look at that point of view. Now I have downloaded this software, the trial version. If you want to try, you can download the trial version. The only limitation is that you cannot save your works, 1, and 2, some of the features you cannot access. Now I'll open the software. I have few images selected that I would use in this video demo. Now that's how the software looks. Let's import in some images and let's get started. Now this is an image. I'll just drag and drop here, and once I do that, it just loads in the images in a circle. Now this is a very plain and dull image that I clicked in one of my trips to Mathiran in Maharashtra. And what as soon as you import the images into Landscape Pro, the first thing that you would see on the left bar is all these kind of labels: sky, water, mountain, unlabeled, building, ground. So what you have to do, you have to drag and drop the labels to the appropriate areas. This is the sky, I drag and drop it. So this software, what it does, you don't have to have any prior knowledge of editing. You don't have to know Photoshop, you don't have to know Lightroom. Without any prior knowledge, you can get excellent result. But is that true? Let's look whether it is or not. Then we have mountains. I'll just drag and drop this. Then we have rocks, and then we have our tree, part of the tree here. We'll just drag and drop it. Now let's continue. Now what it does, as it's telling here, is it will analyze the image, hunt for the locations, and then it will mark it itself automatically. Now it has marked, suppose sky, it has painted the sky red. What it means is the part of the image that's painted red is the sky, but we know that's not true, because some of it is mountains, okay, and some of it is also the trees, the gaps between the trees. It has not selected the sky fully. So what we have to do, we have to drag in where we think the skies exist, just like this arrow. Now what about the extra ones? The sky has spilled over the mountains. What we would do, select the mountains, and then we would go over the selection of the mountains. Something happened. I don't know what's happening. Okay, now it's selecting. It just froze, I don't know why. So yes, let's select the mountains. I'm just giving it a rough selection because for this video purposes, if when you do it carefully, just considering that also to be the mountain. And as you can see, it is selecting fairly quickly. The automatic selection algorithm works great. So this is the mountain. Okay, but there's a problem here. What happens is here the selections are very sharp, right? Selections are sharp. What you want to do is you want the selections to be a bit soft. Why? You want the selection to be a bit soft because it just fades in. The mountains just fade into the sky. So there are a lot of tools provided over here. I will go in depth of each tool step by step. Now there is a soften brush. So increase the radius. Radius means the size of the brush. Increase the size of the brush. Go through it. What it will do, it will soften the hardness between the two areas. Now I want to soften this area. This is softened, as you can see. Again, I want to soften this area. It's great. Now let's select the rock. Let's get back to the pull. This is the tool where you select the sections. This is the tool that we were in by default. Once we select that, let's select the rocks and then we select the trees. Trees are marked by pink. Now guys, one thing, these markings in green, red, blue, these are markings. These are not color grading. So don't get scared about what this is doing or not doing. Now there is another problem that we come across. The problem is the sky is selected, and along with the sky, the branches of the trees are also selected. We don't want that. We don't want the selection of the skies to go spill over the branches, because when we'll replace the skies with clouds or things of that sort, what will happen is it will come over the branches and it will cover it. We don't want that. So there is a tool, tree and the sky. See? So what you have to do with this tool, you have to scrub over the tree and it will automatically be selected. Now when you scrub over the trees, as you can see, the color of the tree is coming slowly, gradually. We begin to scrub, we keep on scrubbing. Let's go on scrubbing. It has done its job fairly well. I wouldn't say great, because Photoshop has the most advanced tools for selecting these kind of things. What you can do in Photoshop, you can make a silhouette of it and you can make it use that as a layer mask and easily select it. But in this, that's a lot of pain. Okay, so we have done an average kind of selection. This is not as perfect as it should be, but we have made it. Now let's continue. And what is this? This is, you have to set where the horizontal line is. If you cannot see horizontal line, as in this case, you have to assume where the horizontal line will end. Think of it like this. If you look at the sea, you have a clear vision, you have a clear idea of where the horizontal line is, the line where the ground and the sky meets. But in scenes like this, where you have mountains and stuff like that, you don't have a clear idea, but you can always guess where it will end. So according to me, it should end somewhere here. Okay, let's click continue again. Now your image, they're processing the image, they're calculating, and now it's ready for process. You cannot see any changes. So we have a lot of tools here through which we can edit our images right now. Just a few clicks is needed. So the first thing that we see is add and edit areas that we did then. Okay, so if you want to edit it later, if you have made a mistake somewhere, you can go and add and edit, and you can add labels or increase or decrease the area of the respective things. Now the next tool that we see here is global presets. Now what is global presets? So there are a lot of presets without editing a lot, without retouching. It gives you a lot of presets that you can work with. So there is a night preset. If I click it, let's see what happens. So it kind of makes it night, but as you can see, the selection is not perfect here. Selection is not perfect. Even if we had made it perfect, this kind of looks fake. Again, look here. The selection is extremely, extremely poor. But tell you what, let me tell you something. I don't know why this happens. This freezes just like that. Okay. When you take a screenshot, when you save this and when you post this to Instagram and Facebook with proper selection over here, nobody's going to say that. Nobody's going to pinch in and notice that. Nobody's going to pinch in and notice, okay, so this selection is not great. It's good for that. But if you're a professional photographer, this is a no-go. This is completely a no-go. So there are a lot of other this posterize and I don't know what, this sunrise. Let's see how it works. This is good. This is good. So what it is doing, it has a pre-recorded, saved a lot of templates of clouds and templates of sky, and it's applying the same color tone to the ground. Now let's reset to original, and let me show you how specifically and how you can edit your picture according to certain areas. Now let's reset it first. I don't know why it didn't reset. Reset to original. Yes, it's reset to original. And now let's edit the specific parts like sky and things like that. Let's open the sky. So it gives you three options. First, atmosphere, second, clouds, and third, cloud colors. Atmosphere is, if you want to make it sunrise or sunset, a lot of options are available here. So once you do that, day, sunset 4, sunset 3, okay, make it like sunset 1, sunset 2. Let's let it be like that. And then again, you can replace the clouds too, and there are a lot of cloud options available. You can click any one and it will just replace the clouds, just like that. And there are a lot of dramatic sunset. Yes, this one. We need to select this well in order for it to work good. Now, once you get the clouds, sky, once you increase this slider, this will copy the color tone of the sky to the ground. Once you increase it, it will copy the color tone of the sky to the ground, and the ground will most likely match with the sky the more you increase it. So whenever you are using this software and you have applied a different sky to it, what you should do, you should get it to 1. You should make the slider right till the end. Now, we have the sliders, we have the sky, and we have then this one, sky colors. How do you want your sky to look? How do you want your sky colors to look? Now we have dusk, evening, and things like that. We can do that, and there are a lot of stuff. Now let me show you a cool thing. Let's reset this. And I just came across this funky thing a few days ago while I was testing this software. This Northern Lights thing, and this is interesting. Let me set this now. When did this happen? When does this happen in India? Now let's go to presets, and it gives you a lot of presets, so you don't have to work with all these settings. Let's reset that, and let's check out the presets. It can make your kind of thing a night. It can make it a sunrise. It can make it a sunset. It can make it a full moon day. You cannot see the moon because it's up somewhere. It's going across the border. Now, that's what I wanted to show you. Let's check this out. This is one of the coolest presets that I came across. See, just look at this. When did this happen in India? Now, this is one of the strange things. Now, tell you what. You take this picture. You cannot save it. When I click save, what happens is this says saving is disabled in trial version, but you have to buy it. But tell you what, you can take a screenshot of it. You can take a screenshot, crop it in Photoshop, and post it in Instagram. And this resolution is enough, more than enough for Instagram and Facebook, and nobody would realize and pinpoint and tell you that this is fake, because you cannot zoom in and say that whether it's fake or not. In Facebook, the quality is not large enough for people to zoom in and zoom out, zoom in especially, and pixel peep about what your image really is. Now, there's one more thing that I'm watching right now. When you scroll with your mouse, you can see the sky is changing, and this is one of the most interesting things that I've come across. As you scroll it down, you can see the image is becoming smaller. As you scroll up, you can see the image of the sky is becoming bigger. Now let's reset that. Let's reset that to let us set this as our presets. Now this is one of the coolest presets, and yeah, let it be this, because this kind of suits the image. Okay, this suits. Now let's look at the light section, what the light section has to say. Let's close this. And we have lighting here. This is one of the second most interesting things in this software. So we have sliders, increase the strength, and here is your sun. You can control the sun from anywhere, and it will change the direction of light accordingly. You can keep the sun here. You can keep the sun here. See, as I keep the sun here, what happens is, this side we have lights and this side we have shadows. You can even pull the light over to some area. Suppose you want the light here, you just pull it. Suppose you want the light here, just drag the light here. Suppose you want the light here, you just pull it that way. You pull it multiple times to have kind of more light. You want to drag the sun here, you want to drag the sun here. It just works amazing. Set it to where the image looks great and where you have a lot of shadows and a lot of textures there. So once you do that, you're good to go. So these were the things that we can do in this LandscapePro software. But the biggest problem is, at the end of the day, it does look fake. It does look fake. You want to try it with another image? Okay, so let's do it real quick. Let's not save it. Let's do it with another image. So I have this another image for you guys, and let's bring it in this software. So it's loading the image. Let me see whether it's recording or not. Yes, it's recording. Yes, I was just scared whether the recording is on or off. Now, this is a fairly simple image, and I'm guessing that this software would clearly identify what the specific parts of the images are. Now, let's drag in the skies, and where are the buildings? It should have, yes, there are the buildings. I get it there. And there we have the water. Cool. The sand. Great. We have people. Is there something like, yes, person. Now let's continue and see how it works out. So it's analyzing, we are waiting for it. So let's do the same process that we did that time. And now, as you can see, since the sky is clear, it's facing not much difficulty in selecting the skies. Again, this is a very rough selection. If you want it to be perfect, you gotta give it time. Now let's select the water. It has selected buildings in excess. So let's select the water. Supposingly this is the amount of water that we want to select. That's too much. Now let's select the sand. I think there's more of water, so let's go to the water tab and let's just select that. The thing is, water is merging, so it's kind of difficult to keep a track of where the edge of the water is, or where it meets the sand. Now once again, let's select the sand. Again, it's a very rough selection, and we are good. Now let's zoom in and just select the person. Also, you can zoom in and refine your selections later. So once we click the persons, let me see how good it is in selecting the people. Okay, so there is a rough selection. Now I think I should zoom in and refine the selection of water. See, just look how the water is merging with the sand. It gets fairly uncomfortable to do the selection in these cases. So LandscapePro does give you just a few clicks and a brilliant editing, but you compromise with something, and that is quality. You compromise with quality, and you compromise with another thing, that is customization. These skies are limited, right? These skies are limited. These these sliders are limited. These configuration settings are limited. The amount that you can control is limited as compared to giants like Photoshop. But you cannot compare it with Photoshop. You cannot expect a result from a software that has developed for years to a software which has just been born. I mean, this is just a 200 MB software and Photoshop is like 2 gigs. So let's continue. And again, it takes years of practice to work Photoshop, and this is just 5 minutes in the software, you're into it. So let's continue this. And let's see how it just analyzes how the algorithms and the math works. And this has analyzed the image. Now we'll go through the presets. We have brilliant presets here. Just let me click this one. Whoa! Now this is one of the good presets. Now, yes, this works good. Actually, what I did now, I just corrected the horizontal line because I had not selected it previously. So let's get back to this preset. Is one of the presets that you can find here. But again, as you can see, the selection is very sharp right around here. You can smooth it, you can soften it, but then again, it's not going to match the reality. Now let's just reset that. Now let me try to make it a night. How do we do that? First, let's move to sky. And if you want it to look like a full moon day, so there is a preset for that. I just checked it out a few days ago and it was just awesome. There should be, yes, there is. This is a full moon day preset. And this looks good, but the thing is, the rest of the picture just looks fake. Okay, so what do we do now? We select the buildings and make it a little bit darker. How do we do that? Go to Buildings tab. And there are a lot of presets already. So let's select this preset. A lot of people will talk to you. A lot of people will say to you, whether you use Photoshop, Lightroom, or any other software, that you shouldn't use presets. But let me tell you what. You can use auto. You can use presets. If your images look good, you can use any hook or crook to it. Now, I'm not saying that you should use presets all the time, but you can use presets as a starting point. It does give you manual controls, right? When I select a preset, it is giving me manual controls. Preset is nothing but a pre-selection of controls, which you can later edit too. So preset, you can always use a preset as a starting point. If it's getting you close to the result that you want, then it's great. It's saving you a lot of time, and time is, as you know, money. Now let's look at this image. We have to darken the buildings looks fine with that preset, but the problem is we have to darken it a little bit more. How do we do it? Let's try just moving this. It doesn't do that work. Yes, this kind of does. Decrease the contrast. It doesn't even do that work. Exposure recovery. If I decrease that, this is not working. Blacks. Yes, this is working. This is making it darker. So this is what I wanted. This is done. The next thing is I wanted to edit the water. Select the water. There are a lot of presets. Oh, there is a moonlight preset already. Now this edits the water. But some of you might see it and tell that's okay, it's good. But if an artist watches that, he will instantly spot, he or she will instantly spot that there is the moon, here is the reflection, and how did that refraction happen? Now let's look at the sands area right here. And I'm hoping we have a preset for the darker part. Let's select that. And if there is a way to make it darker, yes, there is. And there we go. So as I was going through it, let's go back to the buildings. And yes, this is the one that can make it darker. Yes, it has made it darker. Now this is the best you can get with this software. I'm not saying it's the best, but you can always go and soften this, but this is close to the best you can get with this software. But the problem with this software is, again, it doesn't look real. So guys, this all ends up to the question that whether this software is for you or not. Let me talk about the bad things first. The thing is, this software is really bad because of two main reasons: technical and ethical. Technical, I discussed already. The lights don't look right. The images don't look real, and the images seem to work only on the images that are shown in the trailer. When I put in my images, it's not working as cool as it used to work in the trailer. It's not working fine. This is the technical aspect. As you can see, it's visible. But there's another aspect. That's the ethical aspect. A landscape photographer works extremely hard. He notes down the time, he predicts, he looks at the calendars, he looks at Google Maps, and he or she has an extensive planning, schedules and things like that, an extensive knowledge of camera settings, years and years of experience. It takes years and years of experience to get that moment, to capture that moment. And somebody just downloads the software and just ruins it with some of the presets that the software already gives you. It's not ethical. It's not ethical. The thing is, photography is all about bringing originality in your image. Lightroom is not about just editing your photo so that it looks dramatic. Lightroom is not about manipulating your photos. Lightroom is a software for photographers. Why is it a software? Why do we use Lightroom? We use Lightroom to bring out the best in your photos. But this is changing your photos. These are the two reasons why you shouldn't use this software. Now let me tell you the good ones. If you're a beginner and if you just want to be an Instagram hit, if you want to be not a 500px, but if you want to be a social media hit, you can use this software and you can transform your plain images into brilliant looking professional grade images. But this is only limited to social media because if someone, by any chance, if someone just downloads your pic, if by any chance you upload the full resolution of your image in your website and someone just pixel peeps it, he will just instantly spot that you have it fake. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. What I have done is I have included the link of the software in the description below where you can go and download a free trial or you can buy if you want the software. And if you did like the video, do subscribe and do hit the like button or the dislike button and do let me know what you want me to do for my next video. Till then, happy photoshopping and stay tuned.